We've spoken a number of shirim on Torah Aleph, but there's one more idea which I have to talk about in this Torah. Obviously, this Torah could be, if you learn it inside, every word could be talked about for years. But just one more shir at least. The Rebbe says at the very end of the Torah something very interesting. After the whole Torah, the first couple of Torahs of the Likutei Moharan, the Rebbe takes the whole idea talked about and takes a story of the Gemara and puts it into the words of the Gemara. So the Rebbe talks about a story in the Gemara that someone was traveling on a ship and saw a big, huge white wave. And the Gemara says, it's beautiful, it's incredible, but it's a malach mazik. God forbid it. It's an evil angel, but it's white. That is our problem. There's and the verse explains, what is that malach mazik? That there's mitzvahs, big mitzvahs, that the Yetzer Hara comes and tells us, there's this incredible mitzvah you have to do. The verse says, be careful, it's a malach mazik. It's a bad angel. He's coming to hurt you. How do I know? What could I do? How can I know if it's good or bad? It seems so white and beautiful and so big. The Rebbe says, you take a stick and you hit him. What is the stick, the Rebbe says? That's the Torah. As I said, there's a lot to be talked about here, but we've talked about it enough for now. The Torah is a stick that gives us power to overcome the Yetzer Hara that looks like a Yetzer Tov. If there's a mitzvah, so to speak, that makes me far from Hashem, then it's not a mitzvah. Mitzvah is something that connects me to Hashem. And if in the way I am right now, it's going to make me fall, it's going to make me depressed, then it's not a mitzvah. It could be a mitzvah, but not right now. To put on tefillin is a mitzvah, not on Shabbos. The same thing with other things. Let's take an example. It's a little bit dangerous. This is online, but if somebody, for instance, wants to daven with a minyan, and because they want to daven with a minyan, they are going to miss other things. Let's take an example the Rizah says. To pay back a worker, the Rizah would daven after the Shkia, even Mincha, in order to pay back a worker on his day. But there's the Shkia, you're right, there is Shkia. But I don't know exactly how much time you daven afterwards, but I need to know what the mitzvah is for me now. Everybody has their examples. How do you know? Even if you have a Rav, you can't ask him every 5 minutes another question, what should I do? Learn Torah, learn Halacha, learn Kitzur Shulchan Aruch, learn Piskei Teshuvos, learn Yalkut Yosef. Whatever sefer Halacha that you hold by, simple Halachas. Know what you have to do, and if you have a question, then ask a Rav. Knowing that there's Halacha, if you're Yotzei, then you have reason to be happy. When a person has the das of halacha, they know what the Hashem's ratzon, true ratzon is. Now, that sometimes there's a chumrah, there's a greater chumrah, and there's simple halacha. When someone knows that they want to be more chumras, but they're happy when they're doing what they have to do. Any questions? I'm not the person who can answer them. You have to ask a Rav. I can only tell you that when you start learning halacha, you start learning Torah, then your life becomes a life with true chayim, true favor. You find favor in your own eyes. You know that what you're doing, you're making Hashem happy, and you feel happiness from that. And the only thing it'll do will cause you to learn more, to daven more, to more mitzvahs. It won't make you fall down. That I can promise you.